Hey, hello everyone. So today we're gonna discuss on how to, uh, you know, uh, do an environment setup in Python. So typically, let's try to understand why exactly is the environment setup is really important, especially if you're in the domain of data science or software development and whatnot, right? So especially with Python, we deal with a lot of Python programming and data science, and we'll try to understand why exactly it is important. So let's say you're working in a project, so you're working in a project, let's say project A, which requires certain setup, like it might be with certain versions of Python. Let's say if the pandas is with like some 3.1.2 or something, right? So basically this version of software goes well with the project, and that's where you have the all the dependent versions of it, and you store it in requirement of text and stuff when you share it with someone, and right. So basically you have all the packages and its corresponding version, and let's say you have project B, and you want to use, you have installed all those and you're trying to use it for the same. Let's say this being developed by someone else with different versions. So what happens is you might get an error, or it may not work comfortably because you have different environments set it up, and even the Python version might be different and a lot of things, right? So that's exactly where virtual environment is really important for each and every project. Especially with data science, you might be dealing with a lot of projects, and the versions are very important, since there might be some updates which may not be working with the previous versions, and it doesn't go well with the latest versions and a lot more, right? So environment setup is like, it's really important because it also ensures that you have a it's basically a professional way of coding things, right? So we'll try to understand, we'll have a practical exposure, but before that we'll see theoretically on how to set up, right? So there are multiple ways in setting up an environment. So I mean, the best way that I use it, that is like, you can also do Anaconda, you can have a setup over there and stuff. So but I prefer this one. So first thing is, like, you download whatever you want to, whatever the version you want. Let's say you want to install 3.12, go ahead and download it, okay? And let's say you have other variants as well, like 3.11 or what else, right? So can have all those being downloaded. And the second step you have to do is get the path of, let's say, go to the you know search bar and search for 3.12. You might get a shortcut version of it. Go to the source file location, copy the path. That is what the Python source path is all about. Like, that's what I'm dealing with here. So copy the exact path with the Python exe files path. And what exactly this hyphen m is all about. So basically, we are running this particular line of script in the terminal, mentioning that it is it is running as a module, like, so basically, let's say if you're not doing it, what happens is, like, it might be treating it as in dot py, or like Python, or like a Jupyter notebook version of it, right? So that's why you give this, and it's called module version. And this can be also used, like, to explicitly install it. Like, let's say if you do pip install pandas, so what happens here is, you so in the backend, what happens is, the particular script, it goes to the file, I mean the path, and it goes for any version. Let's say you have the global environment as 3.2, which is your global Python that's been installed, right? So it might install there. So always it's safe to have hyphen m in. It is much more safer because it directs to your exact virtual environment, though you have like multiple environments being set up in your system. So that's the reason why we use slash m. It's called as, we run it as a module, and it's a good thing to know. And slash m is always recommended to you know used if you're dealing with multiple environments. So what exactly comes here is, like, Python m pip install pandas. So that's how it works. Any module, just put it there and install it, okay? So the second thing that you see, the virtual environment, it's called the module name. So that's what you're calling here, module name, and name of the module that you're gonna use it, right? Virtual environment. And next is like the environment name. So it's not a module name, this is environment name, okay? So this is how you set up it, and once this is done, the next step is to activate. So now all you have done is, like, you have set up a virtual environment. So now what you have to do is you have to activate it. So this is how the path is, like, whatever the name you named here, and go to the right directory, scripts, activate. When you press enter, it gets activated. So if it is not activating, if you find any error, which means your environment is not set up, or you can visually see the folder dot called dot venv is being set up once you run this command. So once this is done, the next step is like, you can install whatever things. As I said, like, this is what the generic way of doing it, but the recommendation is, use python slash m. The reason is, it finds the right environment to install. As I mentioned, it finds the right environment to install. Always use when you're working with multiple virtual environments. Okay, so this is how you do. And another thing you should know is always, let's say you might be taking over a project from someone else, like, which means, you have to set up the right environment or whatever the version he has used. So I got a couple of errors, like, when I was doing trying to do it with my own environment. Yeah, it's not recommended way. Amateurs do it. Probably I did when I was amateur. Okay, so basically what is very important is like what this requirement.txt is all about. Like, you can find the package name, let's say pandas equal to its version, let's say it's 3.12 something, some version, right? So that's how the file will look like. You have everything in each rows, and you can use equal to, which means you install the right exact version, and greater than equal to is basically, let's say you want something that is more than that particular version of it. So which might be, which is some, there might be some bugs in that particular version, which might be resolved in the upcoming things, and you're good to install anything, right? So that's why you use greater than or equal to, or even if you're not sure what package is not to be, what version of it should be installed, you can go ahead with greater than or equal to. And you can use hash for comments. We typically use like for, to ensure that the readers, or it ensures a good readability, like, when someone sees your requirement file, like they can understand, okay, these modules are installed for this particular reason. And yeah, we are good to go after this. Like, you can, if you want to see all the modules, like you can, all the packages installed, you can go ahead and give pip list, which gives you all the packages installed. Yeah, I think we're good to go, and we'll jump on to the practical version of it on how to set up things. And as I said, like, the multiple ways of doing it, this is one of the way. And yeah, thank you.